Dress To Impress is a competitive fashion game on Roblox that has been taking over the internet. This game is absolutely everywhere at the moment, and seeing the internet band together to celebrate this silly Roblox dress-up game and have fun together is actually super wholesome. But make no mistake, it's not all sunshine and rainbows and high heels in the world of Dress To Impress. What if I told you that the bright and cheery exterior of the game was hiding something deeper and darker? Users are going missing in the game, and investigating the mystery of where they went is a rabbit hole that goes deeper than you could ever imagine. Evil clones, nightmarish visions, cult sacrifices, and a twisted monster that feeds on the living. Dress To Impress is so much more than any of us thought. So today let's break down the deep, dark lore of Dress To Impress. Before we get into the twisted lore of everyone's favorite fashion simulator, let's talk about everyone's favorite website building platform, Squarespace. Squarespace has thousands of unique and stunning website templates which you can then customize, update content, and add features to fit your needs. Whether you're a creator, small business, or just someone who wants to sell silly mugs and stickers online, Squarespace has got the tools for you to sell online. With Fluid Engine, the next generation website editor from Squarespace, it's never been easier for anyone to unlock their creativity. Choose your website starting point and customize every detail with reimagined drag and drop technology for desktop or mobile. Stretch your imagination online with Fluid Engine included in any new Squarespace site. There are so many incredible features for small businesses too. Whether you sell physical or digital products, Squarespace has all the tools you need to look professional, sleek, and stunning while selling online. Make checkout seamless for your customers with simple and powerful payment tools. Credit cards, PayPal, and Apple Pay, and in eligible countries, customers can even have the option to buy now and pay later with Afterpay and ClearPay. And these are just a few small examples of all the amazing things that Squarespace can do for you. Go to squarespace.com for a free trial, and when you're ready to launch, go to squarespace.com/izzies to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. A huge thank you to Squarespace for sponsoring this video, and now let's get back into things. The premise of Dress To Impress is simple. Each round you're given a theme and have 5 minutes to craft the perfect outfit. All the players then strut their stuff on the runway and score each other out of 5 stars. The players with the highest score get ranked first, second, and third accordingly. There's a vast array of clothing items, shoes, accessories, hairstyles, and makeup options, and with a bit of imagination you can pretty much make anything. And that's the fun of the game. Dedicated players hone their craft, learning the secrets of layering and adding the perfect textures to create highly detailed and themed looks. Others use these powers for evil, for example this surprisingly accurate recreation of Shane Dawson for a celebrity theme, or crying Jackie Kennedy, and others still just enjoy goofing off, making weird mishmashes that don't follow the theme at all. Ironically, it's these users who often get the highest scores. Dress To Impress was created in November of 2023 by the Dress To Impress group on Roblox, which has over 2 million members. This group and the game itself is owned by a user called Gigi. The lead developer is Diabin Official, and Moto Princess is one of the developers working under him. There are a bunch of other developers on the team, but I'm just mentioning these 3 now because they will become very relevant later on. Dress To Impress is insanely popular right now. The game has over 2 billion visits, and active player numbers are usually in the hundreds of thousands no matter what time of day you log in. Countless videos and streams of the game flood YouTube and Twitch daily. There's a Dress To Impress side of Twitter where people post threads of their best fits, and the hashtags DTI and Dress To Impress have been used nearly 1 million times on TikTok. It's a moment, capital M, and this internet fame has even bagged at a collab with the singer Charlie XCX in a recent update. The game featured brat-themed clothing items, accessories, poses, and areas, which obviously is hilarious, but it's also just a sign of how big DTI has become. When you're slaying the runway in Dress To Impress, it's easy to miss all the small creepy details scattered throughout the map. For example, in June of 2024, a summer update was released with all new items, accessories, and a new summer-themed runway. On this map, as you enter the runway, you can see the ghostly head of a mysterious woman peeking out from the water in the background, and this is far from the only instance of this mystery figure lurking throughout the game. If you look out of the windows in the lobby, there are 5 ghostly figures hiding behind trees. Outside, there are 2 of the same figures, one standing at the foot of the lighthouse in the distance and one standing on top. She's hiding behind a tree tree outside one of the windows in the dressing room as well. This nail technician, she looks just like the figures hidden all around the map. I'm sure it's a coincidence. In the nail salon, there's a ripped and torn dress on a mannequin, a diary with strange writing on the shelf, and a large missing person poster board with flyers for several different users. There are several hidden rooms and areas within the game. The most well known is the meat room, a fleshy red room hidden behind some of the male mannequins in the dressing room. This room is most well known because players use it to hide in so no one steals their outfit, like fit so good I had to go into the meat room to hide it from the 6-year-olds type of vibe, which is hilarious, you know, Roblox players taking this scary ARG area and turning it into a place to hide so others don't steal your outfit. You know, Roblox kids are the greatest minds of our generation, truly. There's a secret back room in free play mode with a large picture of the nail tech with a horrifying and twisted red figure behind her. Lastly, there's a secret room behind the Dress To Impress logo in the lobby which contains a swirling red portal. From all of these creepy clues, it's pretty clear that Dress To Impress is no normal game. There's a sinister secret behind it, and it all seems to be connected to one person. Lana, the nail technician. Players have come to dub these horror elements as the Lana Lore, and it goes ridiculously deep, so buckle in. So when I first started writing this script, I didn't think that it would take too long or be too complex because, you know, it's Roblox Dress To Impress. But this is, honestly, no joke, one of the most confusing and convoluted topics that I have ever covered. Vague information is scattered throughout a bunch of different Roblox games, YouTube videos, profiles, groups, etc., and is usually pretty contradictory. The ARG, and yes, I am pretty confident in calling it an ARG after playing through it, is constantly changing and updating, meaning that information is constantly getting lost. I have nearly 30 pages of information on this ARG, and while I think I have a handle on most of it, I still have so many unanswered questions, so I'm just gonna do my best to explain it the best that I can. If it feels like we're jumping around a lot, we are. It's just kind of necessary for the format of this video, because if I did it chronologically, it would take so long and be really confusing and not at all put together, so we're gonna be jumping around a lot. It's okay, we're not skipping anything. It's just the best way I can tell the story, and hopefully, maybe, probably things will become a little bit clearer by the end of the video. Okay, with all of that out of the way, let's just dive in. Lana is the NPC nail technician that works at the nail salon in Dress To Impress, where you can change the color of your nails to match your outfit. After players began noticing these strange, ghostly clones of Lana hidden around the map, as well as the missing person posters behind her, they suspected something was up. Players took a closer look at the book on her shelf, which they discovered was actually a diary. Over time, the entries in Lana's diary have changed, providing clues as to what's going on. In the first diary entry that players discovered, Lana talks about how she's been working at the nail salon for 5 years and no one respects her or even knows her name. She says that she wants to run away but doesn't think anybody will even care. She also says that she wants to burn down her nail salon and take revenge upon those who have taken advantage of her, including all of the players of Dress To Impress. She also has a list of targets in the form of Roblox users such as GGDTI, Diabin Official, and Moto Princess, as well as several other developers. A few usernames have the words "dealt with" written beside them, which has some pretty dark implications. This diary entry also includes a Polaroid of Lana with long hair with the caption "Me when I was happy." On the next page, there's a Roblox user ID that takes us to Lana's Roblox page at Lana Does Nails. She has several games that she's created, the first of which is called The Forest, and the description promises to tell us the truth of Lana's story. A stark red filter washes over the screen, and it's your task to navigate through the dark, treacherous forest to activate a portal. But watch out as clones of Lana stalk through the map and hunt you down. Tidbits of lore are scattered throughout the game, and it's here that we learn that Lana was diagnosed with a life-threatening illness, causing her to have to undergo chemotherapy. The "Me When I Was Happy" photo was taken before she became ill, and this Polaroid of her with no hair hooked up to a machine was taken as she was undergoing treatment. She recovered from the illness, but she and her family were left in a huge amount of debt. This is when when Gigi, the creator of Dress To Impress, swooped in offering Lana a job. Gigi wrote her a letter which read, "Dear Lana, I hope this letter finds you well. My name is Gigi and I work for a special agency hoping to recruit new talents. We've seen your abilities and I must say my interests are piqued. However, there's a catch. Don't worry, our intentions are pure. It has to do with the agency itself. We hold many secrets." This is why Gigi is on Lana's hit list, because she took advantage of her poor financial situation, offering her a job she couldn't refuse that treated her horribly. She couldn't leave either as she was trapped by her debt and needed the job to pay it off. But what exactly is this special agency with a bunch of secrets? We'll come back to it soon. Lana's diary was updated on May 17th of 2024 and had an urgent warning for players. "Dear diary, that isn't me. They replaced the real me with some doppelganger. That girl sitting at my desk is not me. I don't know who that is and I don't want to. But that's not me. I'm Lana. She's not, but she's pretending to be me. Moto Princess is holding me somewhere so I can't escape. Please help me. I'm so scared and I hope that thing sitting at my salon chair doesn't harm my image. But I think she's the reason why all of these players are going missing." Lana has been taken and held hostage by one of the developers, Moto Princess, and she has been cloned. The doppelganger who wears pants rather than the skirt that the original Lana wore is in the nail salon, while the real Lana is trapped in an undisclosed location. This explains those evil Lana clones hunting us down in the forest, and these Lana doppelgangers will be very present throughout the rest of the ARG. From this point on, Lana is basically the most unreliable narrator ever because you have no idea whether you're hearing from the original or an evil clone. There are multiple instances where Lana has claimed to be the original only to be revealed as an evil doppelganger right after, and she's constantly lying to the players about who she is. So keep that in mind and take everything that Lana says throughout this entire story with a massive grain of salt. This reveal that Lana has been cloned also explains some other strange details in the forest, including a grave with Lana's name on it and a small stone building with a frantic knocking emanating from it, likely where Lana is being held. Lana's second Roblox game is called Questionnaire, and if players are lucky enough to log in at the right time, they'll be able to talk with Lana in person. It basically serves as a way for Lana and her associates to interact with players, answering their questions and playing out plot points in real time. A YouTuber called Call Me Hailey has been heavily involved with this ARG since the beginning, even being able to ask Lana questions on multiple occasions, and thankfully she has a bunch of videos cataloging this. This video would basically be impossible without Call Me Hailey's videos because a lot of important information is revealed in these questionnaires and she recorded a lot of them. Thank you to the Roblox goat. In the first stream that Hailey recorded, she was invited on stage and allowed to ask questions about a mysterious group called The Awakening that was mentioned on Lana's profile.
Also, what is The Awakening?
Girl.
Okay, what is The Awakening?
The Awakening is what took me and all those players. Who runs it? Gigi. They lured me in with false hope.
What did they promise you?
It's all connected to that nail salon. When I was little, I was diagnosed with a chronic disease, leaving me in medical debt for the rest of my life. Gigi promised to pay it off. I accepted.
Why would she do that, though?
Because I betrayed her.
What did you do?
She was planning something terrible against the players and I had to intervene and tell everyone.
What was she planning?
Using the players for experiments.
What kind of experiments?
You see, Moto Princess.
Yes, that's one of the missing people.
She went missing. I found her mutilated.
What the?
She tried to implement a system into the runway using AI tech, not sure what. Basically, robots would help around. Sort of like that game with the bear, the fox, the bunny, and the chicken.
God damn it always comes back to you, doesn't it?
Did that same thing happen to everyone on the missing posters?
Yeah.
Queen. Okay, so there's a lot to unpack here. Firstly, this questionnaire introduces The Awakening, a cult-like group which is basically the villain of this entire ARG. This is the secret agency that Gigi mentioned in her letter. According to Lana, The Awakening is run by Gigi, who is planning to use the players of Dress To Impress to experiment on, and this is where it gets weird. Lana claims that Moto Princess, the user who kidnapped her and held her hostage, was found mutilated, and then Gigi replaced her body with robot parts. I'm not gonna lie, this whole robot AI technology thing is only brought up in one other main area of the story, and it's really confusing and doesn't make a lot of sense to me. We'll touch on it later, but for now let's just put a pin in it. And don't worry, there will also be a whole section later about the flaws and inconsistencies in this ARG because I do have some thoughts, but again, we'll get to it later. Despite that plot thread being a bit of a loose end, characters being killed and having their body parts taken or replaced is an important recurring theme, and to introduce that theme, we need to talk about Saudade. If you go onto Lana's profile, you'll find that she owns a group called Saudade, which is a Portuguese term that refers to a melancholic longing or yearning. This group has over 360,000 members, which really puts into perspective not only how popular Dress To Impress is, but how popular its obscure horror ARG is as well. There are clearly a lot of players following along with this story, so, you know, hopefully this video reaches them, I guess. The group's description reads, "To the patrons, welcome to the birth of an uprising, a new dawn where we stand united against the forces of evil. In Saudade, we forge a path of resilience and strength, sparking a series of events that will reshape our world. Join our rebellion. Together, we are unstoppable." If the Awakening is the evil villain of this story, Saudade is the rebellion that fights against that evil. It's Lana's way of standing up against whatever terrible things that Gigi, Motor Princess, and the other devs are planning on doing to the players of Dress To Impress, rallying the players to join her cause. The group has several different ranks for members, and one of the top ranks in Saudade was the coterie. And if you're like me and have never actually heard that word before, a coterie is a small group of people with shared interests or tastes, especially one that is exclusive of other people. So basically this was Lana's inner circle, her most trusted supporters and friends. The coterie consisted of Alexi, Sunny, Raphael, Nelly, Michael, Nathan, and Jasmine. Throughout many of Lana's questionnaires, she would have a coterie member with her as a sort of bodyguard, and players could even vote which coterie member they wanted to join her. The fan favorite seemed to be Nelly, even though Lana would literally relentlessly bully her whenever she was on stage, calling her smelly and ugly because she wore preppy clothes.
No, I don't really like Nelly. I mean, I care for her, but she really serves no purpose other than being the laughing stock. She wears preppy clothing at Tori's report. She also smells bad, even though there are multiple showers at the coterie's meeting ground.
You may have noticed that I'm using the past tense to refer to the coterie, and that's because a whole lot went down and, well, they're dead. Now this is one of the more convoluted parts of the ARG, and there are a few areas of the timeline that even I don't understand, but I'll do my best. Let me know below if I've missed anything or have gotten any info wrong, because I want to paint the most clear picture of what exactly goes on in this ARG, so please correct me below if I get anything wrong. Before Lana's coterie consisted of the aforementioned 7 members, it was a lot smaller and had only 4. Their names were Nicholas, Jayla, Jisoo, and Sadie. One of the first things you'll notice in Lana's questionnaire game are 4 graves off to the side with the name of these members on them. So what happened to Lana's original coterie? Well, she killed them. Now this is kind of a shock reveal because we know Lana so far as the poor beat down nail tech who was hired at a job that mistreated her, beat her down, and then kidnapped her and held her hostage before cloning her. She is the victim in this situation, not the perpetrator. Or is she? It turns out that there's a lot about Lana that we don't know. Players discovered this string of text in Sadie's bio that, when translated, reads, "My death was planned by Lana, not evil. They're not a small coterie, they're her sacrifices." Players then discovered a secret cabin in the questionnaire map which contained another diary entry from Lana with a shocking revelation, a confession. Jayla's eyes are gone, Nicholas's heart is gone, Jisoo's voice is gone, and Sadie has been taken apart. I pray this stays private and that nobody finds out my true intentions with the Saudade. I cannot believe how easy it has been to make these players believe I am the victim, and now that they're all on my side, they will all pay for how they have treated me. Well, so much for Saudade being the good guys, because Lana has seemingly just confessed to murder, and her new coterie will face the same fate. She soon began acting strange and hostile towards them. Well, I mean, more hostile than she already was. During a questionnaire with her coterie member Sunny, Lana was wearing an eye patch and said that her eye hurt. In the next questionnaire, Sunny was gone and Lana didn't have the eye patch anymore. When players asked her what happened to it, she denied ever having an eye patch in the first place, which obviously we know is a massive lie. Sunny did survive this, though her eye was taken, and it seems like a pattern is developing of Lana taking the body parts of her coterie members. But for what purpose exactly? Is she just a murderous psychopath? We'll come back to this soon, but all I'll say for now is that it goes way deeper than that. Throughout all of these questionnaires, the coterie members would change their bios or post in the group warning players that Lana was acting strange or that they shouldn't trust her. In one questionnaire that Call Me Haley was invited to, she mentioned to Lana that Nelly had been saying things behind her back, to which Lana said that she would need to talk with her privately. Lana then made an announcement in Saudade which read, "Execution. Today I will have to lock a few doors and open new ones. I trusted my coterie deep deeply, but I've received intel on what they say about me. This event marked the downfall of the new coterie, which is kind of hilarious because it all started with Call Me Hailey snitching on Nelly to Lana, which, like, come on man, Nelly didn't do anything to you. After these announcements, Lana and her coterie member Raphael went on a questionnaire, and what happened next absolutely shocked the players.
Hello, today Hailey will not be coming on stage. Today is about me and Raphael.
Hi everyone, I'm so excited.
Today I would like to talk about betrayal. By associating with me, you promised to not betray my word. Recently I've received intel of betrayal within my own community, the coterie. However, I forgive them. I think we all need to forgive once in our lives. However, actions have consequences. My dear coterie member Raphael. Raphael, I know the lies you've told people.
I'm sorry, I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, don't say that. I know, and it's okay. But actions have consequences. And this goes as a reminder, these consequences will happen to you if you try to betray me. View, do not feel disgusted. This is a traitor. I hope this serves a cruel reminder of betrayal, and what I did was not evil, it was justified. Hello, Hailey. I have eyes at the back of my head, all three, and if you choose to betray me, Raphael's fate will interlink with yours. The last traitor in my coterie to go. I must teach them all a lesson of betrayal. I do not know what else to say. I am trying to stir rebellion, and I cannot do that with traitors on both shoulders. Do you want to know who is next? I will hate to have to do it to her. When the skies are cloudy, she is hidden. Do not warn her, she will have it coming.
After Lana killed Raphael for betraying her, she killed two more coterie members, Sunny and Michael, live in front of all the players. She then tried to kill Nelly, however Nathan, who had only been a member of the coterie for a few days before leaving because of Lana's weird behavior, stepped in to protect her.
Oh, looks like Nathan's back.
Lana, your reign ends now.
Are you two threatening me?
Yes, in fact we are.
You want to face the consequences.
You can try, but you will fail.
And how do you know that? Didn't you need to hide from me? Doesn't sound so tough, huh?
Get away from us.
You're lucky Jasmine told me what you were planning.
She is quite literally only here to suck up to you and your evil plans.
Evil?
Yes, evil, and stop trying to act innocent.
Right, we know everything about you. Everybody, Lana, this entire time, has been recruiting all of you for evil. And after research, it appears Gigi is the victim, not Lana.
You are full of lies. I am laughing. And you know what? I'm fed up with both of you. Everybody, this is what happens when you betray me.
Just when everyone thought that Nelly and Nathan were about to meet their ends, suddenly the tables turned and they killed Lana, finally putting an end to her reign of terror.
Let's get her.
Before you do that,
Girl, don't play with us.
you forgot one thing. I have the players. Will you save Lana?
Girl.
Now, what happened to Nicholas and all the people you killed, sacrificed, is gonna happen to you now. I'm glad I did this, not angry at me. If one more person was killed, then she would have gotten stronger. I'm just overjoyed we are all free. I just wish the dead coterie members were here to see this. I hope this serves as a lesson. Don't trust anyone. I don't have anything else to say though, so goodbye.
So that wraps up the story, right? Lana has finally been stopped. Wrong, because that Lana was a doppelganger, because of course she was. On Lana's YouTube channel, a video was uploaded titled The Last Serenade.mp4. The video confirms that the Lana who was killed on stage was just one of many, and she has opened some kind of portal in order to travel to a new location called the Fortress, which we'll talk about extensively later. When Lana returned, she killed Nathan on a live questionnaire in revenge for betraying her. Nelly was also to be killed, however Lana let players vote on a poll whether to keep Nelly alive, and so she was spared. But keep her in mind because we'll be revisiting Nelly very soon. So you may be wondering about the final two coterie members that we haven't covered yet, Jasmine and Alexi. Well, conveniently, on Lana's YouTube channel there is a video called Alexi.mp4 which will hopefully shed some light on where he is. Well, he's dead. After leaving the coterie because of how twisted things became and how strange Lana was acting, Alexi was plagued with paranoia, feeling as if he was still being watched. He tried to reassure himself that Lana couldn't find him as he had moved far away. However, at the end of the video, it wasn't Lana who was waiting for him, but this twisted, monstrous creature. So what the hell was that creature, and why did it eat Alexi? And well, sorry to use this line every like 2 minutes, but we'll come back to it. As for Jasmine, well, it turns out that she's a little bit of a sneaky little snake. In the fortress, you can find her bedroom, and it contains evidence that she framed the other coterie members, causing their deaths. On a pinboard in her room, there are 3 pages describing why she doesn't like Raphael, Sunny, and Michael. Her reasons range from fairly reasonable, like believing that Raphael is spreading rumors, to totally pointless, like she literally just says that she doesn't like Sunny. I mean, I guess I have to respect the level of sheer pettiness. So the running running theory in the community is that Jasmine lied, telling Lana that all of these coterie members were going behind her back, leading them all to be killed so Jasmine could be Lana's #1 confidant. And it worked. All of the coterie members were dealt with except for Jasmine, who joined the third and final version of the coterie, which had only 3 members. Jasmine, her boyfriend Caden, and a girl called Audrey. These 3 formed the new coterie, which was renamed to The Herd, which in my opinion feels a lot less like an exclusive club and more like an insult, basically calling them mindless sheep who are following and serving Lana. Did you get all that? Are we up to speed? If the answer is no, I don't blame you. I barely get this myself. Let me tell you, I was fighting for my life researching this video. To summarize, Lana created a group called Saudade, supposedly for the purpose of fighting against the Awakening, an evil cult run by Gigi, the creator of Dress To Impress. She formed a coterie, a small group of close supporters, to help her in these efforts. However, the first 4 members were all killed by Lana with their body parts stolen. A new coterie of 7 was formed, however Lana once again killed 4 of them, this time very publicly in front of the players. The 5th member, Nelly, was spared and her location is now unknown. The 6th member, Alexi, fled the group but was later killed, not by Lana but by a strange and twisted monster. And the 7th and final member, Jasmine, was the only one to survive and remain in the coterie because she threw the other members under the bus, framing them in order to gain Lana's favor. Once again, a new coterie was formed, this time with 3 members, Jasmine, Caden, and Audrey. The coterie rank was soon removed and renamed to The Herd, marking the end of the coterie as we know it. Saudade is not the heroic group that we thought. It's an easy way for Lana to kill and sacrifice her supporters. As her diary said, it was easy for her to trick the players into believing her intentions were good when in reality Saudade's true purpose was for her to carry out her murderous plans. So that seems to wrap up the story with a neat little bow, right? Wrong. This is the Dress To Impress ARG. What did you think this was going to be, a simple story with an easy to understand premise? The scary red monster, the dark portals, the coterie members' body parts being stolen. There's so much more to the story, and for me it all started coming together when I discovered a new character called Agamemnon. There's a very important member in Lana's group that I neglected to mention earlier because, you know, burying the lead and all that. This user is called Agamemnon, also known by his username @FortressAwakening, and he is the leader of the Awakening. But wait, hold on, I thought that Gigi was the leader of the Awakening. Well, that's what Lana thought too, but she was wrong. In Lana's 3rd game, The Fortress, we can visit the headquarters of the Awakening, and there are a ton of clues that can help us piece together the story, and if you thought the coterie arc was wild, get ready. The fortress consists of a large courtyard with a stage in the middle, which is where Lana now does her questionnaires, as well as doors on all sides. At the end of the courtyard there is a massive hall with even more doors, as well as a huge red portal at the end. In a secret room within the fortress there's a door with banging noises coming out of it and a note next to it that reads, "Ignore Nelly when she screams, do not fall for her wails." A, with the A standing for Agamemnon. So Nelly is being held captive by the Awakening, and we can discover her unfortunate fate in a video titled Fortress Security Footage 1. In this video, Nelly is tied up in a metal room with a viewing window where Agamemnon and Lana sit watching her. Agamemnon tells Nelly that instead of being executed, she will be fed to some kind of robotic creature that he needs to turn on and activate. However, when we see this creature, it's a tall, fleshy being, the very same one from this secret photo in Dress To Impress, and likely the same creature that killed Alexi. Just before Agamemnon turns on the creature, a new character called Alathea runs in, helping Nelly to escape before being eaten by the creature herself. So at this point it's clear that Lana and Agamemnon are in cahoots, and whatever they're planning is something deeply sinister. Back when they were alive, the coterie noticed that Lana was spending more time with this guy and it was making her behave strangely. In Jasmine's bedroom, a diary entry reads, "I am devoted to Lana, I am. Ever since the day I saw her struggles, I connected with her and we made an alliance. However, recently she's been associating with a strange man called Agamemnon. I don't know how to feel about it." In a secret room hidden behind a painting, we can find a diary entry written by Nelly, which reads, "Lana, weird. I don't know what's up with Lana, but suddenly she's been acting weird. She's been bringing up the Awakening more during our meetings, which doesn't seem weird, but she's praising them. This is Lana, but not the Lana I know. I think she's been brainwashed. Some higher power has taken advantage of her and dictates her morals. However, despite the coterie's worries, they were powerless to do anything. As Lana was influenced by Agamemnon, Saudade's purpose shifted from destroying the awakening to helping it. One of her notes, presumably written for the members of Saudade, reads, "You will no longer have to follow my word. I have found a new, stronger, and reliable authority. Blessings, Lana." This theory that Lana was tricked into working for Agamemnon is confirmed by a note in the fortress that reads, "I feel powerful under Agamemnon's authority. He lured me in, and thank goodness he did." It's also worth noting that both Lana and Agamemnon are wearing custom outfits on their avatars, the Mark of the Awakening cloak and Mark of the Awakening slacks, respectively. They're basically besties at this point, matching cult outfits and all. So Lana and Agamemnon are working together, but what exactly are they doing, and for what purpose? Well, essentially, and this is gonna sound kind of crazy, Agamemnon is trying to gain power to transform into a monstrous and powerful being, and he needs sacrifices to gain power. Yes, finally the sacrifices are coming back into the plot. The reason that Lana began killing her coterie members is not because they betrayed her, but because Agamemnon requires sacrifices in order to become stronger. One note by Lana reads, "The remaining. I will regret doing this to my dear coterie, but I'm sure if they saw the mirages of the future that lie before me, they will be glad to have forcefully contributed to this miracle. I will just have to cover it up so the patrons of Saudade do not doubt me." So how exactly did Agamemnon convince Lana, the #1 awakening hater, to join the awakening and help him? It's clear from this note that Agamemnon has convinced Lana that what they are doing is for the greater good, even when she herself has to go through pain and suffering, as evidenced by the following note. The Eye. "By the word of higher authority, I must do it. This is a choice I cannot combat. It is his choice, not mine. He wants to build power, and I promise to help him. He will grow, but the pain will fade soon, so I guess it is fine." This note describes Lana's apprehension as she must take out her eye and give it to Agamemnon to help his power grow. This is most likely connected to the questionnaire where she took her coterie member Sunny's eye, whether to give to Agamemnon or to replace her own eye, I'm not sure. A follow-up note reads, "The apple. It is the most glorious that I have ever seen. His true form. I am amazed. The extraction of my eye, the pain, the misery. It was all worth it to see it. And with all 3, now 2 of my eyes, I finally see the future." In this note, Agamemnon has revealed his true powerful form to Lana, which seems to strengthen her resolve and belief in their goals. This idea of Agamemnon transforming into something more powerful is backed up by a few different clues. The words metamorphosis can be seen scrawled on the walls in the fortress, and in Agamemnon's group, the lower ranked members are called Cocoon, while his role is called Fjaro, which means butterfly in Swedish, reinforcing this theme of transformation and rebirth. However, Agamemnon has been lying to Lana this whole time. He has convinced her that the Awakening's plans are for a good cause when that couldn't be further from the truth. In the library, there's a book that you can click on to unlock a secret passageway into Agamemnon's office where he goes into more detail about his plans. Quote, "My thoughts. It's so easy to manipulate those that are blind to others' tactics. While I feel bad, I just remember Lana, the real one, is just a vessel that empowers me. I feel power, I feel authority, and I feel stronger every second. When I am at my peak, I will unravel something, opening my wings and destroying. We'll see. I consume the parts that Lana gives me, and she thinks it's for a good cause. Haha. No, Lana, you're just another pawn in my game. I hope she continues to feed into my facade." And this is not the only way that Agamemnon has been using Lana, because surprise surprise, he's the one who has been cloning her this whole time. He explains his experiments in a series of notes in an underground chamber, the very same one that Nellie found herself trapped in. Quote, "The doppelgangers keep growing weak, so I have to get rid of them, which creates even more waste. What is wrong with my experiments, and why won't it work? Lana, perfect? This one seems to be doing well, better than the others at least, yet something is still off. I will try again. I created a new Lana a few days prior, better and stronger. Soft launch. I'll see how this one interacts with the environment around her. In the meantime, I'll harvest more of her, yet it seems to be an infinite resource. I experimented again. This one is disturbing. She has no eyes and her only ability is screaming. I don't know what I'll do with it." These notes describe Agamemnon's attempts to create a vessel for himself. Agamemnon mentions needing a vessel multiple times throughout the story, and the definition of a vessel is a hollow container. So my theory is that if he can create a clone of a human body with all of the function and none of the soul inside of it, then he can inhabit it and use it to take on his final form. This is backed up by a note that reads, "I need to create the perfect doppelganger. Lana will help me, and then when all is said and done, I will get rid of her. At least that's my hashtag game theory. There's a lot of conflicting information that makes me uncertain as to whether this is the correct interpretation, but it's my Roblox ARG video and this is my headcanon. Anyway, from these notes we can gather that he tried to clone others with disastrous results, with the clones dying off. He then met Lana and it changed everything. Her clones did better, surviving and even thriving. We've already seen some of them at the questionnaires. They look just like her and mimic her in order to lie and gaslight the players. However, so far he has not created the perfect vessel, and it hasn't been an easy task, evidenced by the eyeless screaming clone, which I actually encountered in the fortress map at one point. I'll put footage here if I have any. Okay, now this is the point in the story when I thought that I was really starting to get a handle on things, but no, I was a fool to think that, because there's one big plot inconsistency that I just can't seem to figure out. There's Agamemnon, the guy who needs sacrifices to grow more powerful, and then there's the big tall spooky monster who also requires sacrifices to be built up, and it also needs to eat. At first I thought that Agamemnon's final form was this monster. If you go to the chamber at the end of the courtyard in the fortress and peek behind this wall, you can see that there's a giant powered up version of the monster behind it. I thought this was meant to be Agamemnon reaching his final form and getting ready to destroy the world. But no, because in the security footage where Nelly is nearly sacrificed to the creature, Agamemnon is sitting in the room with them. So unless this is like a Fight Club situation, which I don't think it is, these are two separate beings. Another confusing element here is that this creature is a robot, or at least electronically powered in some way. In the security footage, Agamemnon says he's been building it and fetches the guards to bring him the remote so he can turn it on. There's a badge for the fortress called the One We've Fed with a description that confirms the creature needs to be fed or it will starve, which is again confusing because if this is a robotic creature that you can turn on and off at will, why does it need to be fed? It's also a pretty viscerally fleshy creature, and zooming in on its model we can see that it's covered in eyes. There are two ways in the story that characters are sacrificed. Either they're killed and their body parts are stolen, or they're killed and their souls or spirits or whatever are stolen, usually indicated by this aura of light coming out of their bodies. So it seems to me that whenever a character is killed, their body parts go towards building this creature and their souls go towards Agamemnon to make him more powerful. But also if Agamemnon is using all these souls to get more powerful and he's going to take on this insanely powerful, strong form, then I don't really understand the purpose of the monster other than to be like a sidekick, I guess. In my opinion, it would have made a lot more sense for this to just be Agamemnon's powered up monster form, or at the very least it would have made the story a bit simpler. But there are a lot of things that the story could have done to make things simpler, and they didn't, and we just need to make our peace with that. For now, my running theory is maybe Agamemnon needs to be at full power to control this monster, which he will use to cause destruction, or maybe the monster is just another villain or sidekick, or I don't know if you guys remember, but all the way back in the beginning of this video, Lana mentioned FNAF during a questionnaire, and I honestly think that this half robot, half rotted corpse thing is their attempt to shoehorn that franchise into the game a little bit. Just my conspiracy theory, don't quote me on that. So anyway, the only reason that Lana has been kept around is because she's important to Agamemnon's plan. He doesn't care about her or anyone else and is willing to do anything to get what he wants, even murder. One of Lana's notes in the fortress reads, "I take back everything I said about the awakening. It is much better here. Agamemnon promises me that she will be taken care of as he has no need for her anymore. In a secret chamber, the bodies of Gigi, Moto Princess, and Diabin Official can be found. The room also contains notes written by Agamemnon. Quote, Devs, I had no more use for them, and their time had come to an end. It was tiring keeping them around, just vessels. However, their eyes will come into great advantage soon. I'm sure this will make Lana trust me more. I have killed everyone who wronged her in the past." This shows that Agamemnon is willing to kill those close to him just to gain Lana's trust. Gigi and the other devs worked for him, and he may have even tried to clone them, judging by his comment about them being vessels. But soon they became more useful dead than alive, so he killed them without a second thought, just like he plans to do with Lana. Little did she know that, just like her, the devs were just pawns in Agamemnon's game, nothing but his lackeys. When Lana exposed Gigi's plans to experiment on players, those were Agamemnon's plans all along as he tried to find the perfect vessel to clone. In my opinion, it's likely that Agamemnon was in on it from the start. When Gigi offered Lana the job, when they mistreated her for all those years, and even when Moto Princess kidnapped her, I think it's more than likely that Agamemnon orchestrated the whole thing, putting her in this vulnerable position so he could swoop in to charm her and promise promised to get revenge on whoever wronged her, all so he could use her. Classic cult leader tactics, and unfortunately it worked. So what is the end goal for Agamemnon and the Awakening? Once he reaches full power and takes on his final terrifying form, he will travel through a portal into Dress To Impress to wreak havoc on the game and the players. Portals are a common motif throughout this ARG, and there's a giant one inside the fortress as well as one inside of Dress To Impress hidden in the lobby. It's currently boarded up, but I have a feeling it will open again soon, linking the two locations. There's been a lot of fan speculation that the Day of Reckoning will happen on Halloween, that Agamemnon will come through the portal and turn the DTI servers into chaos as a sort of holiday event / ARG climax. In Sanningen's gallery, or the Truth Gallery, Lana's 4th game, there's an image of the DTI nail salon overgrown with dark roots and leaves, likely a premonition of what's to come. As for Lana's fate, well, as per usual, a new update has thrown a spanner in the works and given us a lot more lore to work with. In a recent series of updates, Lana, or at least one of Lana's doppelgangers, was seen packing up boxes to move out of the nail salon before being replaced by a new nail tech called Lena. At one point, Lena's description read, "I've always wanted to work for them, yet she was in my way. When she suddenly disappeared one day, I asked to fill in the gaps that she had left behind her. Of course, a salon can't function without the owner. I have a feeling everything I've worked for is just temporary." Lena has her own Roblox group called Lena's Salon, which is interestingly an enemy of Saudade, but aside from this, there's not too much to look at here, and I assume that the character of Lena will be elaborated on in future updates. If you follow a trail of spilled nail polish, you can clip through a wall into an underground chamber where Lana sits, crying in a cage. Originally, there were 2 Lanas here, labelled on their cages as Lana 1 and Lana 2. Throughout the ARG, fans have often identified the real Lana by the fact that she wears a skirt, whereas virtually all of the other Lanas throughout the story, even when they claim to be real, wear pants. So this really could be the actual Lana. To the side of the room, a diary entry reads, "Are you hearing me? All of the previous journal entries are deceptions. Please believe me, L." Scrawled on the walls are phrases like, "Please believe me, I'm real, she'll be gone." None of them are real. Where is she? Her name is like mine, but she's so different. This seems to be Lana, the real one, pleading with players to believe that she is the original. But also, this is far from the first time that we've heard this, and it's almost always been a lie. However, if the skirt theory is true, then this really is the OG Lana begging us for help. It's possible that Agamemnon has finally created the perfect vessel, and Lana is no longer useful to him, causing him to lock her up ready to be killed. There's another bit of text on the wall that can give us a clue as to what may happen to Lana and her clones, and to discuss it we need to talk about Greek mythology. I bet you didn't see that coming. Unless you know a lot about Greek mythology, in which case you probably definitely saw this coming. The text reads, "Aim your bow and get rid of the facades. Apfelschuss." Apfelschuss, or apple shot in German, is the act of shooting an apple off of someone's head, an impressive feat of marksmanship in many stories. Apples are a common motif throughout the Dress To Impress ARG. The fruits are scattered all throughout the map, often with arrows through them, and Agamemnon even refers to Lana as the apple. To understand why, we have to take a look at another Greek myth, the Judgment of Paris. The Judgment of Paris is an event that sparked the Trojan War. In the story, Paris of Troy is given a golden apple to give to the beauty that he thinks is the fairest of them all, out of Hera, Athena, and Aphrodite. Aphrodite promised him the beautiful Helen of Sparta as a wife if he picked her, and so he took Helen as his wife, causing the Greeks to invade Troy to get her back. I believe that in the next chapter of the ARG, players will be forced to kill 2 fake Lanas to save the real one, aim your bow, and get rid of the facades. This is backed up by 3 unreleased badges for the fortress. The Judgment of Paris. All choices call to your heart, however you must make the sacrifice of 2 to tend to the one that you enamor the most. Apfelschuss. The discordant arrow. Instead of puncturing the apple, it punctures the heart. The final badge is called All Falls Archaic and will likely be awarded to players who reach the end of this chapter having made their judgment, for better or for worse. I'd like to think that at this point players will be able to save Lana and put a stop to the story once and for all, but also, the Judgment of Paris led to the Trojan War, so perhaps it's a sign that whatever decision players make will be the final spark needed to start Agamemnon's revolution, or Day of Reckoning, or Awakening, or whatever you want to call it. And speaking of Agamemnon, here's another little Greek mythology tidbit. Agamemnon was the king of Mycenae and a commander in the Trojan War. He sent for his daughter and told her that she was to marry the hero Achilles, but in reality he planned to sacrifice her so the gods would give his ships good winds on their way to war. war. A character called Agamemnon tricking a young girl with false promises in order to use her and sacrifice her to become more powerful in his war effort. Sound familiar? In the mythology, Agamemnon is killed when he returns home from the war by his wife in revenge for sacrificing their daughter. Maybe this means that justice will eventually be served and someone who cares about Lana, maybe even the players themselves, will swoop in to save her and kill Agamemnon once and for all. To finally summarize the story of the Dress To Impress ARG, or at least what I got from it so far based on the evidence we have, here we go. Lana was a girl who got a life-threatening illness, and though she recovered, she was left with debt that she couldn't pay off. GG, the developer of Dress To Impress, offered her a job offer that she couldn't refuse at the nail salon. This was likely under the orders of Agamemnon, the leader of a dark cult called the Awakening, who wanted to break through into the real world and rain terror. To do this, Agamemnon needed a vessel, a body without a soul, a clone. He tried many times, but he couldn't produce a clone that would stay alive, until he kidnapped and cloned Lana, whose doppelganger showed much promise. Whether the original Lana was swayed by Agamemnon's promises to take revenge on those who wronged her, or the original was locked away deep underground while her most powerful doppelganger, Lana number 2, took over, is unclear at this point. What we do know is that during this time she was getting closer to Agamemnon and the Awakening. He revealed his true form to her, and under the impression that his intentions were pure and she was doing good, she agreed to help him and join the Awakening. While he continued to clone her into his vessel, she killed her coterie members to sacrifice to him, making him even more powerful. To continue gaining her trust, he killed those who wronged her, even though they had been following his instructions the whole time. They were simply pawns to him. At this point in the story, it seems likely that Agamemnon may have found his vessel, and with Lana's purpose now served, he has locked her up and intends to dispose of her. In the next chapter, it may be up to the players to pick the real Lana from the fake ones, which ushers in Agamemnon's Day of Reckoning, where he will infiltrate the DTI servers just in time for Halloween. That pretty much sums up the story so far, or at least my personal interpretation of it, but before we wrap up, I just want to mention some flaws and plot inconsistencies that came up during my research. I think that the Dress To Impress ARG is really cool. I think that it's awesome that the silly dress-up game on Roblox has a secret horror story about clones and fleshy meat creatures and evil cults. I love the interactive aspects, and I love the way the story is told through Roblox games and groups. It's super inventive. But that being said, I have criticism, and I don't want to get into it too much because from what I can gather, a lot of the devs involved in this ARG are quite young, even in their teens, and I think anyone getting involved in ARGs, making something creative, making something of this scope and uniqueness, it should be applauded. But what I will say is that just because an ARG is complex and has a lot of moving parts doesn't necessarily mean that it's competent, and I think that the DTI ARG is needlessly convoluted in a lot of areas. There are so many characters. I counted at least 20 key characters, which is way too many. Popular Roblox players and influencers are often added into the main storyline, which is fun, but it's also confusing if you don't know who they are and are like, who's this character? Jasmine's plotline didn't make sense to me. Lana already had a motive to kill the members of her coterie so she could sacrifice them. There didn't need to be all this subterfuge on Jasmine's part. It's possible that this is setting up some sort of later villain arc for Jasmine, but I also don't really see how that will fit into the story as it currently stands. I already touched on the robot flesh monster, so I won't go into detail here, but I'll just reiterate that the AI robot aspect of the story feels unfinished and a bit confusing. The monster being Agamemnon's final form made total sense to me until it was revealed to be a remote controlled robot thing made out of body parts. I just don't understand this part of the story. Maybe I'm missing something though. I don't know if you guys remember, but I mentioned this character briefly earlier. Alathea, she jumps in to save Nellie from the creature. Her bedroom is an open room in the fortress, one of only 2 bedrooms that we can go into at this point, and it's explained that Agamemnon convinced her to come work for him because she wanted to pay off debts for her mother's funeral. So they're both kind of parallels of each other. They've both been put in this unfortunate situation by Agamemnon at vulnerable points in their lives. I thought that it was going to be revealed that Alathea was like one of Agamemnon's previous projects or experiments, and Lana's just like one in a long line of vulnerable girls who have been taken into his cult and cloned, but no, Alathea's character just seems so random and not really thought out. I thought it would be elaborated on more, but she's already dead, so I don't really see what other information could come out at this point to make her character make sense. She kind of just is, and then she dies. So really weird. There's also a whole plot point that I haven't even touched on yet about Agamemnon talking to Lana through her dreams. There are all these posters that say "Ever dream this man" scattered around the fortress, which are of course a reference to this infamous poster. By the way guys, I saw Dream Scenario and you know what? I actually really liked it. Anyway, this poster features this terrifying face, which also appeared in Lana's first YouTube video, awakening.mp4. At the end of the video, the face shows up with the text, "How dare you, Lana, spread our plans." And Lana actually elaborated on the scary dream man in one of her questionnaires.
Oh yes, let's hear about the man in your dream, okay? Because that picture was scary.
He is pictured in one of my videos. I do not know who he is or what he wants. He said this series of phrases to me. "How dare you, Lana, spread our plans." Though this is not your first misdemeanor. I really don't know what he meant. All I know is that he was real. I'm not scared of the man I saw in my dreams, however, I am just curious and tempted. He has been reoccurring. I don't know what his purpose is, and no, it has a meaning though. All dreams have meanings.
I believe that this red screaming face is Agamemnon, and he's been communicating with Lana through her dreams, convincing her to serve him and scolding her when she disobeys. Text scrawled across the walls in the fortress reads, "Wake up from your dream. Do you see him?" And this lends credence to this theory. It's an interesting tidbit and could give us more insight into how Agamemnon was first communicating with Lana, but also I don't really know how it fits into the larger story or how it's relevant, and I wish maybe there was a little bit more elaboration on that. Maybe there will be in the future, I don't know. There's also the confusion around Lana's kidnapping. She was kidnapped by Moto Princess, who was then killed by Gigi, but we later find out that Agamemnon killed them both way later in the story, so how did Lana witness this happening? Unless that was a clone of Moto Princess, but there's no evidence to support that, and also that would be very convoluted. At this point, I kind of think that this was just a mistake or inconsistency on the developer's part. Maybe they hadn't figured out the whole awakening thing this early in the story, but it doesn't make sense because how would one of the devs be dead when they're literally killed later on in the story and it's written down that they were killed by Agamemnon later on? So how did Lana escape captivity? Well, maybe after talking to Agamemnon through her dreams, he freed her as a kind of like, he imprisoned her, but then he appeared to her trying to be the good guy and was like, "I'll free you," even though he put her there in the first place. But again, as far as I can tell, there's not really any proof of this so far. I don't know, it could be something that's easily explained away in a future update, but for now that's just something that really confused me. Also, side note, I know it's gonna ruin the immersion to bring this up, but it's too funny not to. Agamemnon is clearly meant to be this menacing, scary figure shrouded in mystery, but when you scroll to the bottom of his account, you can see that he's recently earned badges for playing games like Expedition Antarctica and Bloxy Bingo. See, this is the best part about running an ARG in Roblox. The Robloxness of it all is eventually gonna shine through and absolutely ruin all of the immersion for the players in the best way. The Dress To Impress ARG is far from over. A new chapter of the fortress will be releasing soon, releasing all new areas and tons of new secrets. Lana has 2 unreleased games called Meat Room and Sermpy Ot Sir, Dress To Impress backwards, which I have a feeling may be accessible in the Halloween update. Going into the Meat Room area may teleport players to this first game, and the reverse Dress To Impress game may be some sort of upside down version of the game accessible through a portal. At least those are my personal theories. There is so much more in store for this ARG, and who knows if we'll ever get answers to our burning questions. I sure hope so, and in the future, if it's something that people want to see, I may make a follow-up video on Dress To Impress once more information is out. After all of this, I am officially done with Dress To Impress. Just kidding. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for clicking on this video about Roblox Dress To Impress. I've been playing that game a lot lately, and once I found out that there were horror elements in it, I was super intrigued. I thought that maybe it would just be a few little horror Easter eggs and stuff, but oh my god, I didn't expect the scope of this video to be so large. I really hope that you enjoyed this video topic. Hopefully it was understandable and not too much of just a long, confusing ramble. I really tried to order my thoughts in this one to be kind of as understandable as possible, so hopefully it was okay. I would absolutely love to hear your guys' Dress To Impress ARG theories. If you have played it, if you've been in a questionnaire, if you have any predictions for what's gonna happen next in the ARG. I'm really curious following along with the story, how it's gonna go, what the Halloween update's gonna be, so yeah, guys, guys please chime in down in the comments. I would love to hear what you guys have to say about it. And also let me know what you think about the setup. I'm sitting in a chair this time because I just had a feeling that the recording was going to be a long time, and I was like, I should sit instead of sand. I was like, I should sit instead of standing, and I kind of like it. Maybe I'll keep the chair, honestly, if you guys like it, but let me know what you think about the setup as well. Anyway, I've rambled for long enough at the end of this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it, and I really hope to see you in the next one. Bye! A huge thank you to my Garfield overlords over on Patreon: Prize from Travelling Tavern, Meridia, Dr. Worm, Vivian Valencia, Bunzo, Jar the Bar, Zoe Mars, Sophie H, Kia J. Parker, Hazy, Jet Secret, Stanley, Blue Mayfeld, Katrina Likes 5e Stuff, Michelle Olsen, Matt LRJ, A Riddle Wrapped in Enigma Hidden by a Question Mark, Doug, Dana Homegardner, Simon, Xavier Araujo, Helm Hamburger Hand, Dozo Blint, Sheriff Whiskey, Astrian Vortex, and Jesse Chisholm. Thank you guys so much for supporting me. It means the world. If you want to join these guys over on Patreon, the link is in the description. And yeah, thank you guys so much for the support. Thank you for watching, and I really hope to see you in the next one. Bye!